As part of our Money Monday that you see every few Mondays here on Everyday Iowa, we try to smarten you up a little bit. Of course, we try to make you think about your finances. But today, and I was just telling you, this is one of the coolest subject matters because this is for anybody.
Absolutely.
This is Adulting 101. So let's talk about where to start. If somebody who's just watching this, maybe a kid's home from school, maybe they're like, all right, I want a checking account, but how do I get money? So let's start at the beginning.
How do you get money?
How do you get money?
Oh,
Tell me a little bit about trade. No, tell me, where do we start with Adulting 101?
The very first starting, 3 things I would say. Set up a checking account, like you were saying. Get that account opened. Figure out some sort of budget that you think you can stick to, something simple, and set your first savings goal. Okay. Whatever that is, it can be small, but just set a goal so that you can work towards something. Okay. Those are 3 things you can do right away that can make a difference.
So those 3 things, if you were to only do that over the next 30 days, you would already be set up for success at that point.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Let's go a little bit about, you talked about budgeting. Tell me a little bit about budgeting. And again, keeping it simple that even somebody like me could understand.
So there's a lot of different types of budgets. I like the 50-30-20.
Okay.
50% of your money to your bills, your expenses.
Okay.
30% for your wants, your fun stuff in your life.
Notice that wasn't 50, that was 30. Got it. Okay.
And then 20% to savings and paying down debt.
Okay.
So really being intentional about saving from the very beginning and paying down debt from the very beginning.
The biggest chunk is your bills.
Oh, of course.
And then it's the, all right, then things you want. And then kind of leads me to the next question is, of that money that you get, tell me a little bit about building an emergency fund. We hear you need 2 paychecks worth or you need a half a year's. What do you recommend?
I recommend building up to 3 to 6 months worth of expenses so that you feel like you've got that safety net should something catastrophic happen. And putting that in a separate account, get that away from your spending money so you don't think about it, you don't look at it, and it just grows for those emergencies if they happen.
And that piggybacks on the next point. Sometimes people might not have that emergency fund. They go to the credit card. Tell me a little bit about credit cards. There's good use, there's bad use.
Yes.
Give me the examples of both.
Good use, staying below 30% of your outstanding limit if you can.
Okay.
That really helps with your credit score. And paying on time, paying in full if you can, paying that entire balance off. Those are good things. Bad things, paying late, charging things you don't necessarily need, that you don't have the funds for, and just building up that debt.
Almost like treating it like a debit card, like, or
yes,
kind of think of it that way.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. It's Adulting 101, by the way. There will be a 20-point quiz at the end of the program. Let's see. I want to talk about, you mentioned credit score. You mentioned building credit. Right back to the basics. What is a credit score?
Credit score. So it's a number that the credit bureaus will put on an equation of your credit history. When you're paying on time, what kind of debt you have, how long you've had debt. My biggest thing there is there's not just one. So there's 3 bureaus, and even within the bureaus, there are multiple credit scores. So anybody who's like, yep, my credit score is this. Hey, that's one of them.
Mine's a thumbs up. Is that good? Or
That's
is that...
good.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Yes, we'll stick with that.
If somebody, Christy, is looking to build credit, what is the best way to do that?
Pay everything on time.
Okay.
At least the minimum payment on time. That's one of the biggest things that they score in credit. And also the length of your credit history. So if you've got a credit card you've had for years, don't close it, keep it open. Even if you're just using it a little bit, just to keep that length of credit history.
If we have parents watching that have kids that are going to be entering the workforce, how do you build that credit for somebody who is 14, 15, 16, just starting to earn money? What's the best way to do that?
You can put them on a credit card with you.
Okay.
And start that credit history. You can co-sign for somebody like with a car loan or something.
I want to, let's see, a rapid fire. How should somebody prepare and prioritize debt versus spending versus wants versus needs versus fun money?
Debt, you need to start paying off, but I also want you to encourage you to be saving at the same time.
Okay.
So if you're only paying down on debt and not putting some away in savings, next time there's an emergency, you're just digging yourself deeper in debt. So it's important to be doing those at the same time.
And final question, you are a great resource. How can people tap into your expertise to maybe have this conversation for them or for their kid that's graduating or anybody that needs a little adult 101 supervision?
Absolutely. You can call or go to the website, phone number 319-377-48 at the main Marion branch on 8th Avenue.
There you go. Thanks for making time for us.